So I want you to repeat after me. You ready? Repeat after me.
Mecca lecca hi, Mecca hiney ho.
The regular season is fake hockey. Anytime on January 15th, you want to say, oh, this guy, you know, he doesn't know. What is he talking about? What is he say? Why is he going to take the under in that game? Because suckers take overs. That's why. All you overs better. What happens when the cheeks even, I mean, we're not even in clenched cheeks territory. This is not even clenched cheeks territory. This is game one. And what did you see? 2-1 in the Islanders game, 3-2 in the Wild game, and it went to overtime. Unders, 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 unders. And only because there was a team that I didn't want to bet, because I don't care how they ended the season, because the regular season is fake hockey. And what happened to Edmonton? What was my main concern about Edmonton? Their defense and their ability to hold leads. And without Fiala and with the shorthanded Kings, with Edmonton playing all those great games, they blew it. Unlike us. And by us, I mean me. I showed up to WrestleMania. I told you leading up to it, we were pointing at the banner around the Royal Rumble time. And I showed up like Bret the Hitman Hart. And you saw it from beginning to end, almost prophetic. What team did I say that I would I not take at home to score first? I said the Dallas game. They are too closely matched. But the other ones, I'll say 2 out of 3 definitely. You got 3 out of 3. All 3 home teams scored first in those other games. And the one that I told you to focus your energies on, the Carolina Hurricanes, that one came through. Who else came through in that game? Oh, just everybody we had. The Brett Burns 2.5 shots. What did he clear that by the beginning of the second period? Palmieri cleared the 1.5 shots. And even Carolina, which I indicated I kind of like them to win that one. They even did that. And then looking at the other games, the Rat, if it's a playoff game in Boston, the Rat is almost always good for a point. So you're all winners. And just remember, we have to just come up with a saying, like on January 15th, there's some guy complaining in the comments about, oh, blah, 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 blah. It's all fake. You never had your car. But one thing that you do have is the Bet365 promotion. You bet $1 on Bet365. If you're a new user on the platform, they're going to credit you with $200 in free bet credits. You just got to be over 21 and located in a state or province where sports betting is permitted. But if you got a problem, like you keep betting overs, no, not that kind of problem. But if you have an actual gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. Someone will be there to help you out. Now, I was steering clear of money lines yesterday for the exact reasons you saw. You had that Minnesota game, which went back forth to 2 overtime. 2 overtime games mean it was a pickler day. And that's an invented saying, to pick money lines. All those games were super close, other than kind of Boston. But still, even that one was 2-1. So on this day 2, I do have 2 teams that I like on the money line, but these specific teams for specific reasons. And also, by the way, do you want some playoff theory before I get into the pick? Look, you people, you just want the picks already, right? Don't you know? Give a man a sniff, you feed him for a day. Teach a man to sniff, you feed him for... Don't you want to be fed for life? I come here and I tell you these things. Well, going back to Colorado winning the division. Do you want to know why that was so important? Did you see that game between Minnesota and Dallas? There are certain series when you get 2 matchups or 2 teams stylistically, when they play each other in the playoffs, it is all out war. And I truly believe when you get those 2 teams, you almost can't win the Stanley Cup after that because of how much it took out of you. Another series like this last year was Carolina-Boston. A grueling, finish every check, tough series to play in. And then you got a weakened Carolina in round 2 who lost to the Rangers. This has the potential to be that kind of series. And for us Colorado bettors, that's good news. But this was war out there. You saw that hit on Pavelski. Hartman, they thought wasn't going to come back. He ended up scoring the overtime game winner, but that guy was like that Greg Jennings video on one leg trying to skate out there. These guys are going to be limping into the next series, and that's why it is so important that you get a path that leaves you as unscathed as possible. Colorado last year, Nashville sweep, kind of tough series in St. Louis, But then an unphysical team with Edmonton, another sweep, and they were ready to play Tampa. But Tampa had to go through multiple grueling series, and you saw that. That's one of the main reasons why Colorado was so fresh in those later games in that series. And I just think with playing the Kraken as those two other teams from the Central just destroy each other, I think that's going to benefit Colorado in the second round as long as they can win it in 6 games or under to give them a little extra rest. Because I tell you, like I said in that first playoff video I did, that series is destined for 7. That Minnesota Dallas series, maybe 6 if Minnesota can close it on home ice. But I still would think 7 games for that one. But speaking of Colorado, I mean, it's only fair to start with them on a night where they're on the schedule. We started with them in February, and we're going to start with them again tonight. I see no reason not to take Colorado in this game. The price is okay. Just for this first one, we're going to utilize what I mentioned yesterday. We didn't see it too much on night 1, but I have weird faith that it's going to show its face, those multiple empty netters. But what I'm going to say is exercise caution, just in case. Like if some weird Edmonton type thing happens and this does go to overtime, I would favor Colorado to actually win. And even if they get off to a slow start or whatever, Colorado to win is obviously a favorite play of mine. But kind of like I said yesterday, if you're going to bet $100 or bet $10, let's just do a nice low number. $10, 7 on Colorado, 2 by Colorado 1.5, and 1 Colorado minus 2.5. It doesn't mean I think they're going to throw them an absolute beating. It means I'm trying to forecast that those multiple empty netters. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But I got a feeling you're going to see those early empty netters, and you're going to see them pile up. And it might trickle you up to overs, and it might trickle you up to, big puck line victories. We will see. I'm going to test it out with this Colorado game tonight. So give me Colorado on the money line, and then little trickles on minus 1.5 and minus 2.5. Another thing you can do with this Colorado game, they got Cale Makar coming back. They rested him intentionally. He could have played if he had to. If that was the playoffs, he'd be playing. But they knew how important he was. This was their playoff MVP. The MVP and reigning Norris, they knew how important he was. In round 1, he absolutely murdered it last year. Let's hope that he's at 100%. I really think he is. He was working with the top power play and everything. I'll take Makar to register a point. And whether you're on Bet365 or Caesars, you can combine that with the Avalanche win. You'll get the Avalanche at plus money if you do that. So I will take Makar over a point. I guess we will go on to the other team that I like in this game. It's not blasphemy. The divorce papers, they happened over the summer. I am no longer tied to the Tampa Bay Lightning where I say there were 2 boats passing each other in the finals. I was telling this to my brother. The Lightning boat was just starting to sink, and that Avalanche boat was starting to rise. And I just slowly, as they passed them, just stepped on the other boat and just waved goodbye to people like my brother who said, "Oh, no, I'm still sticking with Tampa, Vasilevsky." But not this time. And as I'd mentioned a couple days ago, Tampa, they're notoriously slow starters in this series. Maybe they bucked the trend. Maybe they realize how slow they got off to a start in Colorado, where they were down 2-0 in the first. And against the Rangers, against Toronto in that game 1. Fell behind in the first period against Florida. So maybe they really are going to try to go all out. But I'm just going to bet that that trend continues. The slow starting series from Tampa Bay when they start on the road, which they had to do a bunch last year. I'm going to take Toronto in this one. I already mentioned that plus money bet you can get where it's Toronto wins game 1 and the series at plus money. Also, there's a guy, I don't want to say nobody truly has Vasilevsky's number, but he always seems to produce against him, and that's Willem Nylander. Now going to the Rangers-Devils game. Something about younger teams in their first playoff appearance. They're just like, pardon my whatever, but it's like a young teenager having sex for the first time. Get everything out of there, get everything to the net. I feel like they're going to look shot out of a cannon in the first period. So I am very tempted to take them as a team to score first. And you could also do that with Colorado. That Tampa game, too many stars on the ice. The only reason I would be scared to do it in this one is Shesterkin and then the power play of the Rangers. The Rangers power play is so nasty that if, there's just a errant high stick and they go on the power play, so I don't want to take them to score first. But what I'm going to do is try to utilize the Devils, their youth and their excitement against them. The same way I thought that Carolina is going to be holding that NOS. I mean, Jersey is maxing out the NOS. Too fast, too fast. The 19th sequel, it's the New Jersey Devils. What are they at now with the Fast? Fast and the Furious, 23. 2023, the New Jersey Devils holding that NOS, firing pucks at the net. The same way I wanted the over on Sorokin last night, give me the over on Shesterkin saves against the New Jersey Devils. The Devils should win this game. That's what I will say. The Devils, if you believe in shoulds, they should score first. They should win the first period, and they should win the game, and this game should go over. However, I don't trust inexperienced teams. I just don't. You guys have learned this. I mean, everyone trusted Edmonton. You see everyone's brackets now? Everyone has Edmonton's in the final of everyone's bracket. Why? Because they watched the regular season. No, I'm not fickle like that. That's a first blown lead for them. I don't want to get back on that. But I don't really trust. I don't trust Jersey yet. We'll see. They should dominate this game. I mean, this is a game of shoulds for me. One that I'm just going to have to watch and see how it plays out. And then the Vegas-Winnipeg game.
Don't you know, bump it up.
Smells like a don't you know, bump it up.
You got to bump it
just
up.
like we utilized with Minnesota last night. We bumped it up to 6.5. We would have had it at 5.5, but you don't want to be sweating like that through the third period. We bought our way out of sweating. We bought sweat-free stuff. The same way you should be buying Sniff Drip. Because the Rakers Delights be a-coming, and now I just got the shipment of these. And how good does this one look? This was us last night. Raker Delight. And you can get these on my Instagram shop right on the front page of my Instagram. Click View Shop or go to andyfrancis.com and that will redirect you there. Don't you dare even get angry that I took a lot of time to make these. Remember you guys said you were going to get some? I'm just figuring out how to send them to Canada, though. It costs millions to send things to Canada. And don't tell me there's some, yes, I understand stores have to. I'm not a store. I'm a guy who made a couple, 100 shirts for you guys. So I got to figure something out. Winnipeg, Vegas. Bump it up under 6.5 and combine it with either of those player props that I gave you. You can take Nylander or you can take Makar. That is the assortment of bets that I like here on this Tuesday. Game ones, the next series of game ones. Night one was beautiful. I mean, you can cue that WrestleMania music because I was prepared for it. I know last year, the first day, second day, I'm a learner. You rarely see the same mistakes from year to year. And last year, the game ones, I'm like, all right, you're going to be tricky with the sides. Then I'm going to look a little deeper. I'm going to get me a little bit of Brett Burns and Kyle Palmieri. But let's see how it goes. Hopefully night two is as good as night one. I mean, it's hard to do that, but nevertheless, I will try to continue to do so. Good luck to you. Better luck to me. Make sure you're subscribed to the OddsShopper channel. Come follow me on social media. I dropped 2 extra bets in Sniff Central on my Instagram. I took the Kaprizov over 3.5 shots, the Connor McDavid over 3.5 shots, and they both hit by the end of the second period. So if you were on there and you saw Sniff Central, you'd be a little bit sniffer richer. All right? So I'll see you on there later tonight. I'll drop a little something in there. All right? Take it easy. I will be back with you tomorrow.